Hey everyone, Pro Gamer over here. This is my first video on my YouTube channel. I'm supposed to be doing book reviews, and the first book I'm going to review will be American Sniper by Chris Kyle. And the reason for that is I was going to start today, but last night I found out that he was actually murdered here in Texas. And I just moved down here from Pennsylvania, and I read this book a couple months ago, and I loaned it to someone because she was counseling veterans that came back from Iraq and Afghanistan. And I thought it might help to give more of an impression about what they've been through or some of the issues they might be dealing with, because he does go into a lot of the action, a lot of the battles like Fallujah and Ramadi and places like that where a lot of these guys have been. And I actually got the book back when I was moving down here to Texas, where he lives and where he was murdered. I actually drove down here with the book next to me because I got it the morning that we actually drove all the way down. So the book was with me the whole time I came down here to Texas about a month ago. And it's such a shame because when I read the book, I was blown away by it. This guy was the most lethal sniper in U.S. history, and he goes into everything in terms of what his daily life was like, his thoughts and feelings, and his frustrations with the chain of command and with how the war was being fought and everything. Like the book, it just goes through the whole thing. And to find out last night that he was killed, and I don't really know too much about it, but it looks like he was killed by someone who was a Marine and spent like 4 years over in either Afghanistan or Iraq. I don't know, but it might have been the guy that he was with was the Marine. I just found out it either happened last night. He was either killed last night or the night before, and we don't really know anything. But it's unbelievable. It's crazy. And and this was one of the books I was going to review at a later point, but this is just my first video, and I'll review that one. But really, I mean, the guy has like a wife and kids, and he would have, if he didn't have a wife and children, he would probably be in Iraq right now or Afghanistan right now, still doing what he was doing, because he said that it was his wife that convinced him to come out of the military in order to be with them so that he would be safe. And then the guy is with a couple people at a shooting range in Texas, and he just gets popped, when he survived getting shot. I mean, he was shot twice. He was shot once in the head and once in the back when he was over at the war and he had his body armor, and now the guy's going hunting or shooting with a couple friends, and the guy pops him and then takes, just drives with a truck somewhere up near Dallas, and then they catch him. I just can't, after all he's been through, after everything, 160 confirmed kills, probably closer to 300 actual kills, most deadly sniper, and then just some crazy idiot just pops him when he's at home in Texas, just going target shooting. It's unbelievable. But my suggestion would be, if you haven't read the book, to definitely pick it up, and if you've already read it, pick up at least a couple other copies so that you can give some money at least to his wife and 2 kids I think he has now. The guy had a company, training military and police personnel on tactics, and now everything's gone. Like, his family's not going to have anything, and so at least buy a couple more copies of this book to give them some money, and then read it if you haven't read it. I mean, it'll give you perspective about the war and what a sniper, what a Navy SEAL does throughout the whole conflict. I mean, he was in it since like '99, I think, and he got out a couple years ago. I think he spent like 10 years in it. So it's unbelievable. I'm still in shock when I found it out. I mean, the guy, he's a hero, and maybe Obama will give him like a Medal of Honor, maybe like posthumously or something. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that either. But it's just, the most lethal sniper in American history just got popped while he was going target shooting by some crazy person, and who knows why. But what first came to mind was he was talking about some Marine that was a coward over in I think it was Fallujah. I'm not sure though, but anyway, they were coming under fire, and it was just them two, and they were trying to cover each other to get back to safety, and you know, he was covering this Marine, and the Marine just took off running, and Chris, you know, he looked back and the guy was gone. He had no one to cover, so he had to go running, dodging bullets to get all the way back. And he said that there was like at least 2 incidences that happened. And my thought was, dude, this Marine came back, and then everyone knew who he was. They found out because the people that were there would have known, and the guy just, he was going crazy. So he might have read the book and then just popped this dude. Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind, was that they were saying that this guy was in the Marines for 4 years. Maybe it was that Marine, and that dude had a grudge, and he popped him. But then I'm thinking he wouldn't have gone target shooting with this guy, you know, obviously, right? So that, I'm out of ideas for that. I mean, we'll find out as the days go on, I guess. But that was my first thought, was that, wow, this Marine he was talking about in the book, you know, found him and popped him in Texas for ruining his career, ruining his life, because the dude was a coward. There's nothing more cowardly than shooting someone in the back of the head when they're target shooting or something. They had no way to defend themselves, you know. I mean, just because you're carrying a gun doesn't mean you can defend yourself. I mean, anyone that sneaks up on you, you can't do anything about it. People are going to say, oh, this guy was a trained sniper. You know, that's all BS, dude. I mean, someone puts a gun to the back of your head without you knowing and they shoot you. There's nothing you could do about it. It doesn't matter if you're carrying a machine gun or a cap gun. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do. And this guy, Chris didn't even see it coming. So, you know, it's unbelievable. I just can't believe it. But I would suggest this book. It's one of the better books about the war that I've read. And I'll be doing more reviews coming up, and hopefully they're not going to be as ridiculous as this one. I mean, this was just crazy, and I can't believe that it happened. And he's a war hero and the most lethal sniper in American history, and you should buy at least a couple of copies of his book, just to at least be able to give something to the wife and kids, because I don't know how they're gonna support themselves without this guy's income, you know. So that's unfortunate. Well, this programmer, I'm out, and stay tuned for more reviews. See you later.